My name is Jorge Gonzalez. Like many Mexican Americans, Chicanos, Latinos, I came here as a first generation. At the age of 4, I moved into San Isidro, California, the place I believe where you constantly are seeing and witnessing, border culture. My front yard, my backyard was constantly, a place where undocumented immigrants were coming in to San Diego late at nights. And so I was witnessing that as a kid. And I think as a fronterizo, as a border, identifying myself as a border hybrid, nowadays I wasn't really understanding what was going on in my childhood. As a child, I didn't really understand what my feelings were or what exactly I was witnessing. I didn't even know what culture I was being part of. In Mexico, you wouldn't feel too Mexican. In the United States, you wouldn't feel too American either way. So that kind of set me up as a child in my own identity as something different, something new that was being created. It's overwhelming sometimes to understand and going from one language to the other. But instead of making it a struggle or a barrier as far as communicating, I eventually was able to use it as an advantage, as a way of juggling cultures, as a way of juggling perceptions, perspective, ideologies, and history overall, and to make peace with that, to not feel I'm this or the other, but I'm both, and from there my identity was transforming and became multiplying. I remember leaving high school and leaving my communities. They would always say, come back to your communities and help. And that's exactly what I did, and my intentions were ever since I came from college, was to really utilize the tools that I gained at the university and put them into practice. Throughout my fieldwork as an undergrad in La Costa Chica, Oaxaca, and Guerrero, I was doing a summer program there, studying the Afro-Mexican presence. And for me, again, intrigued in the subcultures of Mexico and the subcultures that just emerged and the multi-identities that exist in the world, and leading with that really created an interest to do Afro-Mexico as a project. I decided to meet up with the World Beat Center and meet up with Makeda Dread, and we had talked about envisioning a project which now we've titled Maroon Societies of the Americas. And in the midst of that, I came here volunteering in any position available to really help my community out. The $30,000 that I borrowed from the government, I'm able to put them back to where it needs to go, to the community.
How was Mexico spelled in the beginning before with an X? With the J, Mexico. Because Spain brought that influence. They wanted to dominate and said, hey, okay, everybody's going to be Mexico since we can't do the New Spain thing. We can't be the New Spain because obviously there's too many people, indigenous, and yes, there is some black people, but let's forget about them for now.
What I'm witnessing here at the World Beat Center, it's really the world coming together and really creating dialogue amongst it. And I think as a 21st century citizen of the world, we need to have a concise pulse of what's going on. And only through that way we can take steps forwards and not back. Only through that perspective, only through that approach can we create peace and understanding amongst each other.